Welcome to Ability MKE now on River West Radio. My name is Sue Roskopf, and we're joined, as always, by my hubby, Kurt Roskopf, as our co-host here this evening. We are glad to be here as always. Ability MKE now is a show all about integration and bringing people with disabilities and people that don't have disabilities together, enjoying life here in the Milwaukee area. We all have our own personal strengths and weaknesses, right? Some people, or some things that we're really good at, other things we find to be more of a struggle. We all have different abilities. And with that, we dive in deep here with that topic of diverse abilities, and we showcase and share a variety of aspects of ability-related topics. And our key getting into this entire conversation years ago was related to adaptive water skiing, and has opened a world of possibilities in our little corner. And it's given us the opportunity to meet some absolutely amazing and impressive people in our time here with what we've all been blessed with the ability to do. So I want to bring Kurt in and actually turn things over to him to give a great introduction to a wonderful friend who is joining us this evening. Kurt, can you come on in and introduce everybody to Zita, please?
Sure. As I lead into that, I just want to, keep the premise of the show alive here. Ability MK now founded to give great consideration to our Milwaukeeans with disabilities, and to open up the topic, I get the conversation starter out thinking of our Milwaukeeans with physical disabilities, Milwaukeeans with intellectual and developmental disabilities, our deaf community, blind community, everybody around Milwaukee who lives in a life of chronic pain, those around that have a mental health diagnosis, and everybody in Milwaukee that has a goal of substance use reduction. And then when we get into this, we open up the topic of the Americans with Disabilities Act, where many might not realize that Milwaukeeans are protected if they have a sensitivity to electromagnetic fields, EMF energy, that, we need to pay attention to the remote controls that we have and all this Bluetooth thing and all that kind of stuff. Everything we throw into the air could create a disturbance for somebody physically. And when it becomes that, experience that keeps them from an activity, now it converts to an access issue. And then we also have chemical sensitivity, is an issue. So to really be inclusive, once in a while we got to think about not using our perfumes and stuff like that. If we're aware that somebody in our group might have a sensitivity to that, which would prohibit them from staying and enjoying our activities. So lots of considerations to be had. And this evening, kind of revisiting the birth of our daughter, because birthing is the topic of tonight. And our daughter was born premature. And so for sure in prenatal care and in birthing and taking care of babies and mothers, there's a whole realm that, maybe some of us are out there that don't know a lot of the expansive knowledge and training and education that goes into making sure that that goes as well as it can. And we do know that there are some disabilities that are acquired actually through the birthing process. So tonight, we are pleased to present again, returning as a guest here at Ability MK Now on River West Radio, is Zita. And I met Zita through the Happy Neighborhood Project, free happy business networking, happyneighborhoodproject.com. And so we do these Zoom meetings. And through these Zoom meetings, I met Zita and we did a follow-up one-to-one. And I'm learning about all this, her devotion, in this whole realm. And I love to do these shows. And I told Zita, kind of the idea of doing shows. And what happened? We worked with Zita to create, it's not yet here on River West Radio, but kind of, sort of through Ability MK Now it is, but it's the World of Women It's a podcast available through Zita and Zita's Healthy Beginnings. So that is the nonprofit that serves this whole realm, and tremendous nonprofit project for the future to build a maternity hospital out in Pittsburgh and out in Nigeria. So we are involved as the Roskopf family. You know, we are helping Zita's Healthy Beginnings in some fundraising with a fundraising event August 15th. And so there you go, you know, dealing with the miracle of birth, dealing with show business, the World of Women podcast, and the nonprofit work of Zita's Healthy Beginnings, and on we go from there. So Zita, why don't you come on in here and tell our audiences a little bit more about what got you started? And when we're talking to the topic of disability, what does a midwife learn in that birthing process, and when something is happening that might cause that neurological change for the baby and might have a lifelong effect? How does that all work?
Yeah, thank you so much, Kat and Susan, for having me on this radio. And it's an honor to come back and talk about who I am and what I do. My name is Zita Iwuoha. I am originally from Nigeria, and I nurse and a midwife. And I work with women and children. I have done that for years as a missionary, different parts of Africa, England and Ireland, and before coming to the United States. And it has been really a joyful for me journey, life purpose, to work with women and children. Birthing is really a joyous thing. It's not a life sentence. It's not a death sentence. And unfortunately, in our culture today, some women have experienced not so good experience, but some in the process have also lost their life, and including some babies also. So and that's what we don't want to hear. It breaks my heart to know that something that should give joy, if not taking care, is not taken, turns out to be a disaster. And when that happens, it's not only for the family, it is for the whole society, because we know that any woman who is not only stands for herself, but represents the whole family, a whole society, and a nation. And that's why we encourage everyone to really support women, because we know what women stand for in our society, family, and the globe. So I work to make sure that we reduce the number of deaths happening among women and children. So when women get pregnant, a lot of things happen in their body. A lot of changes happen in their body. They are carrying a human being who is in the forming. And we know that there are critical elements that come together to form this baby. And we also know that when things don't go the way you expect them, some disabilities can actually result from there. That's why we encourage everybody to please support any pregnant woman or any woman who is raising a baby, because it takes really more than just, it takes a village to support, to raise a single child. And in our society right now, people are so busy, people are so distracted, we even take pregnancy for granted. And is there any wonder then that we're dealing with what we're dealing with now? Because we're not giving more attention to what really deserves attention, and that is bringing another life. It literally takes life to give life. A woman who is pregnant really gives her whole life to it, gives her whole energy to it. That woman needs support from the partner, from her family, extended family, from even the government. All our policies that really support women must be activated, must be employed once a woman gets pregnant. We know she needs a whole lot, from prenatal care to planning for that birth, from birthing to making sure that the baby is really delivered in the right way. Some women have it easy, they have their natural birth, no problem. Others will need a little bit of help. Some need actually to be cut open to get out the baby safe so that the mom and the baby will be healthy. All of these are not easy. We don't want to take them for granted. These are precious, precious stuff that go on in a woman's life that we take for granted. And it shouldn't be taken for granted because women take a whole lot. Today, we are noticing that many pregnant women are suffering with mental health issues, which will really go through it, but then that transfers to their babies as well. Because guess what? Whatever a woman internalizes while she is pregnant passes through the placenta and to the baby, whether we want to hear that or not. All of that happens. And the question is, how are we really supporting women today? Pregnant women, what kind of support are we providing to them? COVID has happened, it's still happening in so many places today, and women are still coping with the normal challenges of pregnancy in addition to this COVID. That's an extra challenge. The question is, how are we reaching out to women to support them mentally? Because they need that mental sanity to be able to bring healthy babies to the world. How are we supporting them to eat, to rest, to provide them with all that they need, the prenatal vitamins that they need to take? Because these vitamins really help both the woman and the baby, forming all the brain, the neurons we're talking about, the nervous system, because once something goes wrong there, it has that impact for the rest of the baby's life. And we don't want that to happen. I'm emphasizing that every single person in our society today needs to support pregnant women and mothers who are actually taking care of babies. We are hearing what is going on right now about the breast milk substitute. And we have always supported breast milk. Through all the ages, animals have always fed their babies their breast milk. And that is the best milk to feed a baby. I know there are all kinds of misconceptions there, brainwashing going on to tell people that you can substitute. Yes, there are space for substitute. When a woman is in trouble after birth, you can do that. When a baby has issues after birth, and if the mom is not able to express her breast milk, yes, you can go for substitute. Substitute has its own place. But what is going on is with the whole business of making sure the breast milk substitute is a big business. Therefore, we tend to undermine everything else and promote that. But today, with one virus, it's causing a lot of problems. So I am here to please plead to all our women to please reconsider. The priority is breast milk. But if you're not able to do that for any reason, then you can resort to breast milk substitute, because there are a lot of benefits to breast milk that even helps with some of the abnormalities that happen to babies, like the prematurity, for example. We encourage a premature baby do much, much better when they get that natural breast milk. But if they're not able to do that, that's okay. That's when you resort to the other one. But nature is nature. Let us go through nature and have nature support us and support our universe. And I thank you for this opportunity. And Zita's Healthy Beginnings have podcast, as you have said, Kat, and we are looking forward to having people come to our podcast every Wednesday, every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And thank you for everything you guys are doing to support Zita's Healthy Beginnings. And we are grateful for all the support. And we continue to encourage people to do what they need to do to make our world a better place for everybody, and especially for women and for children.
We are back now. I apologize for the loss there. Can you hear me? Okay, Zita.
Yes, I can. I was wondering what happened.
I actually are. So the downside of being able to do this from a distance, we actually just lost our internet connection for a moment, but luckily we're back right away. I'm so sorry for that interruption. Thank you for hanging in there.
Yeah, that's okay.
Excellent. So I know you were in the middle of speaking toward the everything with sorry, I kind of felt like we were racing for a second there. Everything with bringing a baby into the world and what's all involved from the perspective of a midwife, and the amazing role that you play in that moment and everything. I want to fast forward here a little bit. I know that Kurt had mentioned that you do have a special event that's coming up in August. I wonder if you could share a little bit about what that all is.
Yes, so that's an event that we are calling it. Let me get the Make It Happen for Women. That's an event that is coming up on August 15th. It's a Monday. It's from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. It's gonna be virtual. So it won't be really a whole lot of problems for everybody now that everyone have access to the Zoom, So we are inviting everyone to come join us. We have our Eventbrite there to get your tickets. Early bird ticket is available from now to the end of the month. And so please, you go and do whatever you need to do. And it's going to be fun. We are bringing people to entertain us. We're going to be talking more on what we plan to do in the future, including what Kat has already shared, and that is building a hospital, a maternity hospital, where women can actually access the needed prenatal care and birthing and postnatal, which we know that are really critical for any woman and every woman. So, and there's always a lot that goes into that. And we are optimistic that there are a lot of good people out there who support all kinds of, good work. So we are looking forward to people joining us on August 15th from 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern.
Excellent. And I just want to ask, how long have you been in the profession that you're in?
Oh, I have been in my profession for over 25 years. And that's why it's like part of my life now. And really, I can't. I just find this as very exciting. Not only that, life-giving, and something that has become my life purpose. I just know that birthing and having kids and raising kids the right way and supporting women who are really the source of all these blessings is really the right thing to do. So yes, I've been doing this for more than 25 years and really enjoy every bit of it.
Excellent. Just on a more personal note with that, is this something that you always knew that you wanted to do?
Yeah, you know what? I had an experience when my mom shared this with me. When my mom was pregnant with me, 7.5 months, she was bitten by a stray dog. And she really had to go by bicycle 30 miles each way to get the medication that really protected her and me from the rabies, you know. And after I was born, 6 weeks after that, I caught bronchitis. Again, my mom sacrificed that whole, you know, her life almost. That's why I said it takes life really to give life. She risked everything, walked to 30 miles to a children's hospital that was really closest to us, and that was really 30 miles away, to seek for help for me. So when I was 7 years old, my mom did share that with me, and I'm like, oh my goodness, what a sacrifice a mother, you know, makes for her child. So I said to her, when I grow up, I'm going to go around the world helping women and children. So for me, that was just like a payback for what my mom did for me. So yes, from the get-go, I know that I am on a mission to support women and children, but at that time, I didn't know how. But I think the how really came about as I chose my career as a nurse and then a midwife. I just felt, yeah, this is really the best way to accomplish my goal. Yeah.
And
So
now I'm just wanting to see if there is there any particular stories or I'm not sure if I don't know if I want to say patient, how to think about this. What is a favorite story you have? If you think back to all the wonderful women and children that you've worked with over the years and encountered, is there any in particular that stand out? I mean, and I guess I'm thinking about it from the ability related side of things here. Is there any stories that you'd like to share as far as a unique experience you've had along the way, and or somebody that really left a mark in your life along the way as you've experienced your career?
yeah, actually, there are a few of them. You know, when you do this kind of work, you get surprises all the time. And for me, yes, I have had a lot of surprises, and coming from areas that you hardly expected. One that I would quickly share was one woman that had she had some disability. She had polio as a child, so that really disfigured her posture. And as I don't know if you know this or not, but that really also impacts the pelvis of a woman. So that put her in a dangerous situation whereby when she gets pregnant, you can't but think of having alternative way of having the baby delivered instead of going the natural way. So when that time was coming by, we were through the time of perinatal period. We talked to her, made sure that she understood what was going on. And I don't really know whether she really totally understood that. But she knew that she wasn't like any other woman, you know, that would really expect her baby in a natural way. But the other thing that we tried to explain to her was, you know, you can also manage the size of your baby through eating this, that, you know, healthier eating, doing better exercise and stuff like that. And we, to my own surprise, I never expected her to be really following up with all of the details. Because when women are pregnant, they can really get forgetful. They can get a little bit confused with, you know, all these advices from everybody. And in her own case, it was a little bit complicated due to her, you know, physical body. And she said to herself and to me, you know what, this baby is going to come out the normal way. I came out the normal way. This baby has to do that. I'm like, okay, let's just see how that works. She did not know when she fell into labor. It was her first baby, and that happens to a lot of first-time moms. And by the time she got to us, the baby was already, you can't just stop it. So she really, we didn't know what to do. We didn't know what to expect, but God's so kind to this lady. By the time we got her ready, within 2 hours, the baby was out. So we were like, how on earth did this happen? So this is where God sometimes surprises us and says, I am in charge. You are not in charge. So that lady comes from a background that is so poor. And when you talk about cesarean section, she was also going to pay for it. And I don't think she had the money, nor anything actually that she can sell that will really provide that kind of money. So to pay for a cesarean section. But she had a normal baby. The baby went breast right away to breast, and there was no problems. So for me, that was a surprise. That was a miracle. That was also a challenge to my profession to know that I am not God. I can only accompany people, encourage them, but also know that eventually or ultimately it's God that has the last say.
That is a very strong statement that I believe as well, that there's so many things that are out of our own control. We want to be in control of everything, right?
Right.
There's so many things that it's all a matter of how do we react to things, how do we move forward with what's in front of us, and sometimes we just have to have faith and keep moving forward.
Yes.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing here that I so appreciate you being here with us and being able to share stories and share your knowledge, and I hope to be an inspiration to people to just have that gentle reminder of how important it is to be taking good care of yourself, good care of the children, and to put yourself in the best situation possible to give yourself every advantage that you can. Because again, as I'm saying about being in control, there are certain things we are in control of, and to make healthy choices and to do the things that would be in our best interest and in our unborn and born children when we're going through all the decisions that need to be made along the way, to do what we can to make good choices, and to have someone like you as a resource and a good knowledge background here of what does that look like. So we thank you for what you bring to us today, and I hope that that you'll be able to come back and visit with us again in the future. We love having you here with us and to be able to learn from and to hear some great stories from as well. And we will keep in mind your event that's coming up on August 15th, and anything that we can do to help with that. We're looking forward to hearing more and to promote that with our friends and family here as well. So and I see we do have Kurt back as well here now. I so love having the opportunity to be on here for Kurt and me, Sue Roskopf, with Ability MKE Now. We thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate your time.